Okay, that means Tim Atkin off pole. Outside of him, Adrian Stott. Josh Crang on the inside of the second row has Josh Arthur on the outside of the second row. Richard Cook then inside of Jim Cowley. Great driving from Joel Berkeley in car number 9 to get himself up towards the front of the field. Car 15 is Brett Baxter. Paddy Brennan's in 97, Daniel Henshaw's in 10. The lights have gone out, so we're going racing. Buckle up, folks, here we go. 30 laps for the Australian Grand Prix, off and running. Stoddy gets left on the line as Tim Atkin goes into the race lead. Josh Crang trying to muscle his way underneath. Josh Arthur up high. We've got him going to be 3 wide. Down the main straightaway for the completion of lap number 1. So, Tim Atkin, Josh Arthur drops back to position number 4 as Stoddy wins that little battle to hold on to position number 2. Adrian Stott, Josh Crang, Josh Arthur, Jim Cowley. On the outside, it's Brett Baxter. Getting it a little bit crossed up was Adrian Stott, allowing the rest of them to catch up very quickly. Richard Cook has been left out to dry up against the fence. Let's follow Chris Pagel. He's got a couple of cars already, but he's got a long way to go to get to the front of the field. And right now, that's Tim Atkin running away in car number 15. Adrian Stott's got his hands full. Josh Crang on the inside, Josh Arthur on the outside, Brett Baxter, Jim Cowley. They're all lining up to have a go at the Black Falcon. Here they come now down the inside, and we got them 3 wide, and of course going backwards will be Adrian Stott. He's right up against the concrete, and out of this one as Josh Arthur has the door torn off the inside. Continues on his merry way with Brett Baxter down on the inside of him, and he's chasing Josh Crang, and they're all chasing Tim Atkin. But have a look at the lead he's got. He's under the control tower. Josh Crang would be the next one. Brett Baxter, Josh Arthur underneath him. Jim Cowley's in there with Joel Berkeley, Daniel Henshaw. Next one would be Paddy Brennan, then Aaron Sander, and a long way back finds Richard Cook. That's the way they head underneath the control tower yet again as their race leader, starting to come up on some of the slower vehicles towards the rear of the field as Adrian Stott parks it with a flat tyre. It's Selena Jennings, the first one. Tim Atkin on the outside, won't want to be held up because he knows that Josh Crang is not too far away. Brett Baxter chasing hard in the 15 car, back then to Josh Arthur. A real battle royal for Jim Cowley and Joel Berkeley. Next one there is Daniel Henshaw, then Aaron Sander. Berkeley's giving the old fella a little bit of a hurry along. Gentleman Jim coming under a lot of pressure from a brand spanking new guy. On the outside is Daniel Henshaw, pick up our race leader. He's on the tail now of Kayla Stokes as they head into the western corner. Around the outside he will go, still trying to keep it away from the concrete. Kayla Stokes doesn't have to do anything, just hold her line. Another one in trouble is the 62 car of Hayden Wells, flat tyre, right up against the concrete. Would be waiting for a steward to tell him when he can move down onto the grass area, which is what he's done as Josh Crang goes by. So does Brett Baxter, Josh Arthur. The next one coming through is Daniel Henshaw in front of Joel Berkeley. Aaron Sanders in there with Richard Cook. Jim Cowley being shuffled back down through the field is back there now with Paddy Brennan. Race leader goes around the outside of Dennis Shellcross to put him a lap down through the western corner and down the main straightaway. Tim Atkin in the race lead, chasing hard. Here's Josh Crang, gets it a little bit wobbly going through the rough stuff underneath the control tower. Brett Baxter still holds on to third, Josh Arthur. Then we've got Daniel Henshaw, then Joel Berkeley. Our race leader coming up on the tail of the 96 car of Chris Evans to try and put a lap down on them. He's in the western corner. We've got a yellow light on because it's Aaron Sander facing the wrong way. Lights are out, so we're going racing once again. It'll be a big charge at the front, outside the witch's hat. Tim Atkin, can he keep it nice and smooth in front? Josh Crang, plenty of pace in car number 8. Back then to Brett Baxter, also with plenty of pace in the Falcon number 15. And here comes Daniel Henshaw as Josh Arthur careers into the back of car 15. Flat tyre from getting the car sideways, and Brett Baxter out of the event. Back to Tim Atkin at the front of the field. Josh Crang not far away. Josh Arthur would be the next one in front of Daniel Henshaw. Aaron Sander. Back behind him, it's Paddy Brennan, then Jim Cowley and Chris Pagel back at the front of the field. Have a look, the battle's on. Tim Atkin versus Josh Crang. Crangy up the inside. Has trying to move Tim Atkin offline. Can't do it this time. Tim Atkin fights back, holds on to the lead as they go under the control tower once again and head down the back chute. Tim Atkin in front of Josh Crang. He's got some lap cars coming up again in front of him. Back then to Josh Arthur in front of Daniel Henshaw, who's deciding to have a go on the outside. Up behind Selena Jennings comes our race leader, Tim Atkin. Stays high on the racetrack, goes around the outside of her in the western corner, heading down the main chute in front of Josh Crang. Kayla Stokes is the next one in front of him. Back in position number 3, it's still Josh Arthur in front of Daniel Henshaw, then Aaron Sander in front of Paddy Brennan. We go back to the race leader, who's going to go round the outside of Kayla Stokes as they go under the tower. Here comes Josh Crang again, Crangy down the inside. Kayla's got him left and right off her. Round the western corner, Josh Crang down on the inside. Tim Atkin on the outside. He fights back and holds on to his race lead. Tim Atkin, Josh Crang, back in position number 3 on the outside with bits and pieces of the car flying everywhere. Got him 3 wide. Can Daniel Henshaw drive around the outside of Josh Arthur? Not this time. Race leader goes under the control tower. Josh Crang is still with him. Then we've got Josh Arthur in front of Daniel Henshaw, Aaron Sander, Paddy Brennan and Chris Pagel. Another lap down on the journey. 30 laps, remember to do. Tim Atkin's got it up on 2 wheels. Doing a bit of motorcycle racing. Tim Atkin to the better. Josh Crang won't go away. Long gap back then to Josh Arthur and Daniel Henshaw. As the yellow one comes on again. Got car 32 facing the wrong way, Brodie Fraser. That'll help. Have gone, we're going green. What a battle royal up the front it has been. Tim Atkin versus Josh Crang. Josh Arthur, Daniel Henshaw, Aaron Sander and Chris Pagel. A little bit of a nudge from the front 2 cars. Sort themselves out as they head towards the western corner. Race leader, it's still Tim Atkin. Josh Crang right there. Josh Arthur, Daniel Henshaw. Here comes Chris Pagel up the inside of Aaron Sander. Move over, boy, he says. He's on a mission, trying to get to the front of the field. Race leader, Tim Atkin. Heads under the tower once again. Josh Crang holding on for 2. Josh Arthur in 3. Daniel Henshaw. Next one, Chris Pagel, Aaron Sander, Jim Cowley, Trent Nicolia. Down the main straight away once again for our race leader, Tim Atkin, trying to keep the car on a nice steady line. Josh Crang in 2. Can't seem to close the distance this time. Josh Arthur's been dropped back a little in position number 3. Daniel Henshaw unable to get any closer to him. Bit of a battle between Chris Pagel and Aaron Sander. There's 2 laps remaining. Aaron Sander tries to go underneath Chris Pagel, can't do it. Heading down the main straight away. Tim Atkin will see the white flag. 1 lap to go for the Australian Grand Prix. Josh Crang in 2. Josh Arthur in 3. Daniel Henshaw, Chris Pagel. That's the way they're going to finish, I would think. Down the main straight away for the last time, folks. Put your hands together for him, Tim Atkin. Josh Crang, Josh Arthur, Daniel Henshaw, Chris Pagel, Aaron Sander, Jim Cowley, Trent Nicolia, Selena Jennings, Kayla Stokes. Wow, what a race. What a race for the Steering and Suspension Warehouse Australian Grand Prix. Doesn't get much better than that. Congratulations, Tim Atkin. All right, folks, we'd invite you to the trophy presentation over behind the main canteen.